You want to part the hair down and you want to do it neatly. I know when you first start out, it's not going to be the best. Mine still isn't the best, but you want to part it all the way down. So from the front of the head to the back of the head, I'm going to show you guys how to basic braid first, because in order to do like feed-ins or anything like that, you have to learn the basics of how to braid. So we're going to start off real beginner. You're going to take 3 strands of the hair, of the piece of hair that you got in the front, like so. And then you're going to grab, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, but I'm doing the right-handed way. Depending on that, you are going to grab and hold them like so, as you see on my fingers right there. No finger shall be left behind, because you want to have all your fingers doing something, like you see where my fingers are at. Don't be afraid to adjust the head as needed. Don't be too hard to like push their head really hard, because you know, I mean, it don't matter. I mean, they're getting your hair braided, but adjust the head as you can, and just keep practicing with this part, because braiding itself, you want to be nice and neat with it, and with practice, the more you practice, the better it looks. So just keep doing this part for a couple tries, as many tries as you want, until you get it to where it is a decent plait, and go on to the next thing. Usually when I'm done and I braid it all the way down, I usually use like a rubber band to hold the plait, so that way when I'm done with everything, I'll just dip all the hair into the water, into hot boiling water at the end, like you see there, and then so that way it doesn't unravel while I do the rest of the hair. Now, if you're doing your natural hair and you're braiding it like that, you don't need to put it in hot water, not at all. You just put like a rubber band on it and it will stay. All right, now that we're done learning how to braid, now you're on to the next step. I use the rubber band method. It is my favorite method on how to braid, because I really like to have like a nice grip on it, on the hair itself, and I don't really get a good grip if I don't use a rubber band, and the plait just comes out with the hair, and we don't want that. We want it to last for a while. So I use this method, and the hair usually lasts about, I want to say, a month or 2. Usually braids last that long if you do like hair with it, extensions with it. So I usually do rubber bands. I try to get the rubber bands that don't really like tug at your hair and break your hair out when you take your hair out. And I'll also show a video about how you take your hair out properly, so no breakage. Well, you get as less breakage as possible. So for this part, as you see me, I just section the hair once again, and then I sketch in the hair right here. You want to make sure it's as nice as neat as possible, so that way when the sections are all done and all the plaits are done, with your scalp, it just looks cleaner and has a better feel to it. Also, you want to make sure all the other hair is out of the way, so you don't plait the wrong hair and stuff like that. You see how I have the rubber band? I'm only using that hair in that rubber band, and also the spare hair, the extension hair that I have. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, the biggest issue with starting a plait, starting a braid, is the grip. So you see, I have a blonde hair, and I'm going to show you, that's the extension hair. Place it on top of the rubber band, so that way it's covered. And you're going to simply braid like you would usually braid. And it's going to make a knot. Once it makes the knot, you're good to go. You want to keep it nice and tight, and make sure all of the pieces of the hair are detangled every time you braid. Because if it's not detangled, it's going to just mess up your braid, and you're going to have to start all over. So every time you pull and braid, as I'm showing you now, you want to make sure that it's detangled, and you want it super tight as you can get it, because the tighter it looks, the better it looks. And of course, if you don't like the way your braid is turning out, especially if it's earlier on in the braid, you can always undo it and try it again. I obviously gave it a very few tries. This was like a really, really basic braid. You can see the strands already coming out of it. I didn't like it, but I just wanted you guys to see how it would start off if you are like literally a beginner. So it's not gonna look the best, but it will get the job done. So as you're braiding, you're tucking your hair, your natural hair, with the braid and the extension. And then eventually one of the pieces will run out of hair. So what I do, as you can see here, I will take a piece of the extension hair or a piece of a hair that is a little bit longer, cut it in half with my finger, and then use that half to braid more. Now, it sounds a little bit confusing at first, what I just said, but when you start doing it and actually be hands-on with it, you'll understand what I mean. And as you guys saw there, I just simply took a half of the one of the longer pieces of the braid, usually the extension, and I just braided it down more. Honestly, as long as you keep the grip like I showed you there, it's okay to let go of the braid, but if your grip is not like tight enough and the braid looks off, you might have to go up some on the braid or start all over. But as long as you hold the braid while you're trying to get everything settled, it'll be fine. And hopefully that made sense. If you guys have any questions at all, anything, just let me know in the comments below. I really hope this helps somebody out there who's trying to learn how to braid. Because honestly, I'm still trying to learn how to braid, like really good. I really want to get really good so I could do other people's hair and also do my own hair more. And I always test out the braid, as you see there, on a dummy, but not an actual person, if it will stay and stick. I suggest getting like a little head off of Amazon and practice if you have nobody to practice on or nobody to braid on. And if you have a couple people that are willing to like be like, yeah, I could be your little test dummy, you can braid their hair so you get that feel of a actual person's head and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this extreme beginner tutorial. Like I said, I am no professional. I learned off of YouTube as well, and I'm still learning. I'm still a beginner. So that's why I said it's an extreme beginner, because I'm a beginner teaching beginners. So we both learn it together. You hear me? Thank y'all so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and of course subscribe if you love this stuff and want to see more stuff like it and other content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love ya. See you in the next video. Mwah!
Peace.